Hello, welcome back to my living room where we're going to do something weird. Yeah, did I buy this wig specifically for this video? Yes, I did. Is it incredibly low quality and itchy? Yes, it is. But I'm going to keep wearing it for the intro. Alright, I'm here, I'm shuffling my tarot deck because today we are doing a love tarot reading for Katniss Everdeen of the Hunger Games. I had this idea a little while ago of doing love readings for famous literary characters, especially ones that were in love triangles, to find out which person the cards think our character should have wound up with. So obviously in this case it will be, should Katniss have wound up with Gale or Peeta, according to the tarot cards. I just did a big reshuffle and I'm hoping our reading is going to be interesting and spicy. Let's get started. Okay, we're here, we're ready to set this out. I have a setup that I have looked up online and I looked at the different ones that there were, and this one is a future love spread, so we're gonna go with this. I've got the book right there so that we can really help the cards channel the character of Katniss. And our first one is going to be our future true love, but I think the other cards will help us sort of determine which boy this first card actually pertains to, or maybe it'll be completely obvious. We'll find out. Alright, so here goes the first card. Alright, we have the Six of Coins reversed. Interesting. It is not a major arcana. Coins are also known as pentacles. They have to do with the material and the monetary, so that's interesting. I think that might lean us a little bit more towards Peeta, but we're not going to jump to any conclusions. Oh, but this does lean us a little bit more towards Peeta. I'm reading a little bit more about the Six of Pentacles reversed, and it is self-care, unpaid debts, and one-sided charity. Now that definitely speaks to Peeta and his giving her the bread, and him doing so much, and Katniss just being like, please don't, I don't really want your help. So right now we've got a really strong feeling towards Peeta as her love interest, according to the cards, but we're gonna keep going. Our second card is, will the attraction be instant? And it is the Tower. Oh, this is really leaning towards Peeta. That's a pretty firm no coming from the Tower. The Tower is kind of a disaster card. I love the Tower, by the way. It's one of my favorite cards. But it's not a good sign for the immediate attraction. But as much as the Tower gives us a no that the attraction will be immediate, it also might be giving us a little hint about who she's falling for. And the Tower definitely can mean sudden change and upheaval and chaos, which could bring Gale into the picture because he is kind of a chaotic guy and he is the one doing a lot of rebelling in the later books. So it could be the chaos that Peeta brings to Katniss's life, or we could be saying no, it is Gale and his... the cat's just running around. It is Gale and his sort of chaotic ways. So it's still anyone's game. Now, this one's going to be the big one. This one's going to be a big tell, and that is, the third card is going to be, what will this person be like? What is their personality? And we have the Ten of Cups reversed. I don't know anything about that, so I'm going to look it up. I'm still learning, so I don't have everything memorized. Cups is a suit of emotion, of the feminine, of water and movement, so... Ooh, this one I feel like is leaning us a little bit more towards Gale. It is disconnection and misaligned values and struggling with relationships. So honestly, it could go either way with either of the boys, to be honest with you. But I feel like, especially with like the misaligned values and the way that Gale tends to just sort of act first and ask questions later sometimes, that he might be actually fitting this now better than Peeta. And of course we do know that Katniss didn't have an immediate attraction to Gale either, if she had an attraction, like a romantic attraction at all. So maybe we are leaning towards Gale now. Alright, we're on the final row. Number 4 is challenges. What challenges will this relationship face? And we have the Chariot reversed. Who? Okay, this one could be either of the boys, I feel like. This is, what are the trials of the relationship going to be? and we've got trials with opposition, which obviously both of her romances with neither of the boys would be opposed, but lack of direction as well. Again, this could lean a little bit more towards Gale because Katniss doesn't really have a plan with Gale. And she and Peeta, you could say that they don't really face opposition because the capital is in favor of them, but again, their relationship does face opposition because President Snow wants them to die. But I still think we're leaning a little bit more towards the cards shipping her and Gale together. Now, the one thing I can't believe that I didn't think of in this moment is the fact that it is the chariot and Peeta and Katniss ride in an actual chariot in the beginning of the Hunger Games. So maybe this is actually leaning it more towards Peeta, but it's reversed. So it could be saying, not the boy in the chariot. It's still anyone's game, I think, but I can't believe I didn't think of this until I was editing it. But we have 2 more cards, so the next one is going to be what will help with the conflict, which again is opposition, lack of direction, not sure where they want the relationship to go, which with Katniss could be either of the boys. But let's see what will solve it. The 8 of Swords. I don't think their problems are going to be solved, which with Katniss is probably true, honestly, and the Hunger Games. The 8 of Swords is not a very positive card. It's really not looking like their problems are going to be solved. Imprisonment and victimhood, and especially feeling like a victim. So I could see that with Peeta because Katniss kind of does feel trapped in this made-up relationship and eventually perhaps a real relationship. I don't know that that one necessarily leans as much on Gale, but either way, the problems of this relationship, with whichever boy, are not being solved. They will not be solved, which could again lean us towards Gale because she doesn't end up with him canonically. So maybe her problems are never solved with him. But it could also imply that even when she is with Peeta, their problems are never actually solved either. A lot of people have talked about how they didn't like the sickly sweet ending of that book, and I agree, where, you know, yes, Katniss still has problems, but she goes away and is with Peeta and has a kid and seems as happy as she can be, and some people were like, that doesn't seem accurate. So I do think that for Katniss, this is very accurate. The problems are not solved. And our final card, when, how, or where will they meet? So I think this is going to be the one that really cements which of the boys it is. How did they meet? It is the Knight of Staves reversed. Let's find out what this is. Staves are also wands. The deck that I'm using calls them staves. Oh, this is a really tough one to nail down, actually. I was hoping that this would be a lot more definitive, but it's not. Honestly, I could see this one with Peeta a little bit more, just a little bit more. It is about sort of a desperation, a frustration that Katniss might be feeling when she first meets Peeta and she's like starving and he gives her the bread. It could also be with Gale, but they met when they were young, so they were both probably pretty desperate at that point. It's really difficult to tell with this card. This card is not really giving me anything. Impulsiveness, passion, but honestly, all of the cards together, I'm leaning a little bit more towards the cards saying that it should have been Gale. And I'm not saying that as a Gale Katniss shipper. I actually do ship her with Peeta if I must ship her with anyone at all. Scandal, the cards are shipping her with Gale. What do you guys think? Is that the interpretation that you got out of the cards, or do you see it definitely coming more down on Peeta's side? Comment below and let me know. What were you hoping that the cards would say? Are you a Gale and Katniss shipper? Or are you upset right now? How dare the cards? How dare they? I don't even know. There's a lot of violence and also romance in the Hunger Games. And if romance and violence are your thing, can I recommend you check out my latest book, The Wolf and the Hawk? It's a fantasy romance that will not only have you loving the main couple, but also have you enjoying some delicious, delicious brutality and bloodshed. Check it out. Link in the doobly-doo. Yes, I got rid of the wig. There you go, guys. That was my tarot reading for Katniss, her romance reading. What did you guys think? Was that fun? Was that something you might enjoy if I, say, got together a reading for Bella Swan? Even though I didn't read Twilight, you'll know, because I don't read Twilight, that I don't have a strong attachment to either of the boys that she could have wound up with. And we could find out whether my tarot deck is Team Edward or Team Jacob. If that seems interesting to you, please comment below and let me know. If you would like a tarot reading of one of your characters that you have written, you can contact me via any of my social media, links in the doobly-doo, and I will send you like a little thing that's like, here's some questions for you to answer. If you have talked to me about it before and I haven't gotten back to you, just like nudge me again. Like, I'm very forgetful. I'm not doing it to ignore you, I'm just that forgetful. So be like, hey Julian, I was interested in you doing a reading for my character and you never did it. If you want to see content that's not seen here on the regular channel, you can check me out on Patreon. Head on over there for all kinds of fun rewards. Like I said, all of my social media is in the doobly-doo for ease of your clicking. And I post brand new videos here Mondays and Fridays. I will see all of you again next time with whatever it is I happen to be doing next time. Bye! Why yes, I am going to tell you all about my patrons. My patrons like Ray, Artemis, Shelby, Zaire, Jesper, Ryakio, Irene, Scribbling Cat, Savvy, Jenny, Amanda, Lisa, Callison, and Lennox. Have you ever heard of a better collection of patrons? Of course you haven't. Mine are the best. Are you coming to the tree? They strung up a man, they say he murdered 3. Strange things did happen here, no stranger would it be if we met at midnight in the hanging tree.